Hello everyone. So today we are doing a CIE IGCSE Chemistry paper, Winter 16, paper 21. So it's a multiple choice. It's a multiple choice question paper. So let's go to the first question. Okay, so the process is going from a area of higher concentration to an area of low concentration. So the answer for this question will be C. So substance diffusing into a liquid. So where a liquid has zero concentration of the substance, so a substance will diffuse into a liquid to make it concentrated. Whereas A is simply a change of the state, A and B, and D is also not correct because we are moving very slowly, whereas particles in air, they diffuse fairly quickly. So the right answer is C. Okay, let's go to question 2. So which piece of apparatus is not needed? So here we are measuring the rate of, we are measuring the temperature change with time. So obviously we need a clock for the time. We need a thermometer to measure the temperature, and we need a pipette to transfer 25 ml of your HCl. However, a burette is not needed because a burette is used in titration, but here we're not doing a titration. So the answer for this is A. Okay, question 3. So which of the following mixtures cannot be separated? That will be Q and R, because both Q and R are precipitate, so you cannot separate two solids using this method of filtration. So filtration is used to separate solid from liquid, but Q and R are two solids, so they cannot be separated by filtration. So C is the right answer. Okay, question 4. The value for W, X, and Y. So okay, let's look at W. So number of neutrons. For chlorine, that will be equal to the number of nuclei minus number of protons, which is 18. So X is the number of nuclei, which is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons, which is 36. And number of protons for argon is equal to the number of electrons because it's neutral. So that is 18. And the last one, Z, the number of electrons, again, because this is neutral, so it's basically equal to the number of protons of potassium. So that would be 19. So the answer is B for this question. Let's go to the next question. So a metal reacts with a non-metal. So basically what's happening here is a metal loses electron to form a cation. An electron is gained by a non-metal Q to form a anion. And the bonding between cation and anion is obviously ionic. So we can choose from B to D. And as I've said, in the process, metal loses electron to a non-metal. So electron is transferred from P to Q. So the answer is B. Okay, question 6. This is a simple question, I think. So we have 3 single bonds between carbon and hydrogen, and a single bond between carbon and carbon, just as this structure diagram. Okay, and there's a single bond between carbon and oxygen, single bond between oxygen and hydrogen, and a double bond between carbon and oxygen. So A is the right answer. Question number 7. So from the description here, we can immediately say that X is a metal because it conducts electricity, has high melting point, and metal is often solid. So A is metallic bonding, B is ionic bonding, C and D are covalent bonding. So the only thing that, so the metal obviously is metallic bonding, so the answer is A. Okay, next question. Which statement is correct? So we have benzene and ethene here. So one mole of benzene and one mole of ethene contain the same number of electrons. That's not true because they have different, obviously they have different chemical formula. B, one mole of benzene and one mole of ethene has a volume of, this only applies for gas, which ethene is, but benzene is a liquid at room temperature, so that's not true. C, so they have the same empirical formula. That's not true either. So the empirical formula for benzene is CH, whereas for ethene is CH2. So only D is the right one. Okay, so next question. What is maximum? What is the mass of sodium carbonate? So we have 0.1 mole of this. So every 2 mole of this produce 1 mole of that. So the amount of sodium carbonate is 0.1 divided by 2 is equal to 0.05. This is more of sodium carbonate, and then times it by the molar mass. So the mass is equal to mole times molar mass, which is equal to 0.05 times molar mass of sodium carbonate, which is sodium times 2 plus 1 carbon plus 3 times 16 oxygen for oxygen. So, but these numbers you can look up in the periodic table, and what you get is 5.30. So the answer is B. Okay, question 10. We are electroplating an ion with near with copper. So what's happening in this reaction is copper ions gains electrons and becomes copper, which is then electroplated on the ion near. So obviously we need copper ions in the solution. So between those two, we need to choose the copper ion. And electron near is placed near the cathode, and the copper is placed near the anode. So the right answer for that is A. Okay. Next question. Which two metals have the highest rating? So we need to find two equations with the highest difference in electrochemical potential. So the higher the difference in electrochemical potential, obviously the higher the voltage of the circuit. So if you look up your data booklet, D will give you the answer. So zinc and iron will have they will have two half equations, which have a difference of the highest chemical potential of all those. So they will give you highest voltmeter reading. Okay, number 12. We are putting anhydrous copper into water. So this is a process of dissolution. Dissolution process is exothermic, and which means that it gives off energy. So this will cause a temperature rise in the surrounding environment. So the right answer here is the right answer here will be D. It's exothermic, and there is an increase in energy. Okay, number 13. So which is not correct. So from this this energy profile, we can say that the energy of the product is higher than the energy of the reactant, which means there is an energy input into the system, That is the definition of a endothermic process. Whereas A is suggesting that is suggesting that this is a exothermic process because burning petrol is an exothermic process, but that's not true because in this energy diagram we know that energy is put into the system, so it's endothermic. So A is the right answer. Is a wrong statement, but it's the right answer. Okay, number 14. So we have magnesium reacting hydrochloric acid. So so acid in 1 is less concentrated. Is less concentrated than the than the acid in experiment 2. So which means 1 will have a faster rate. Sorry, 1 will have a slower rate, and 2 will have a faster rate. So what it means in this diagram is that 2 will have a well, first of all, in the reaction, the mass of magnesium will decrease because it's being reacted. So obviously C and D are wrong. And here, because the hydrochloric acid is more concentrated in experiment 2, so it has a faster rate of reaction. And which means the decrease of magnesium, the mass of magnesium is faster, so it is below the reaction profile of 1. So A is the right answer. Okay, number 15. So statement B is right because a large surface area will create a larger area for reaction. So basically, that will increase the rate of the reaction. So when it's mixed in air, because of the large surface area, so the reaction goes very quickly. So it's explosive. Number 16. Okay, when you increase the concentration of T, to keep the equilibrium constant the same, the reaction equilibrium needs to shift to the left. So you have more of the reactant and less of the product because you are increasing the product of the you are increasing the concentration of the product. So the equilibrium shift to the left to give you more reactant. That would give you C as the right answer because P, Q, and R, all of them are the reactant. Okay, so next question. So statement 1 is wrong because copper ion, well, we have, so oxidation is increase in oxidation number, and reduction is decrease in oxidation number. So copper 2 ion from copper is an increase. Sorry, it's oxidation number is, so oxidation number is an increase. Oxidation is an increase in oxidation number. And reduction is decrease. So copper 2 plus 2 copper is a decrease in oxidation number. So that's a reduction. And 2 iodide ion are reduced. So this is iodide ion is I minus. 2I, this is an increase in oxidation number, so it's oxidized. Number 4, chlorine is oxidized to chlorine ions. So chlorine has oxidation number of 0, and chloride ions is -1. So this is a decrease in oxidation number, so this is reduction. So C is the right answer. Number 18, what type of oxide is germanium oxide? So as we can see from the question, it reacts with acid and with base. So this is a property of a amphoteric substance because it is both basic and acidic at the same time. Okay, next question. So that's the next question. Right. So here, let's go through them one by one. So the chlorine ion is formed by accepting an electron from water. So this is wrong because the chlorine ion is formed is formed by accepting an electron from hydrogen, not water. So hydrogen loses one electron to become hydrogen cation, and chlorine gets electron from a hydrogen. Okay, B. So hydrochloride lost electrons. That's also not true because overall hydrochloride, the electron does not change. It just the electron transfer happens between H and Cl, but not for HCl as a whole. D. So water donates the proton. That's not true because water accepts a proton from hydrochloric acid. So the right answer is C. Okay, number 20. Number 20, so we have X reacting in Y to give you aqueous copper sulfate. So we need a sulfate ion. This is wrong because so basically this is wrong because copper cannot replace iron because it's lower in metal activity. D is also wrong. The reaction does not happen between sulfur and copper chloride. So it's B and C. So Y is sulfuric acid. So it's either B and C, but it cannot be B because if you put copper chloride, and you'll be left with both copper chloride and copper sulfate. They are both soluble, so they cannot be separated by filtration, because remember, filtration is to separate a solid from liquid, but if both are liquid, you cannot separate them by filtration. So it can't be B, and the right answer is C. Okay, number 21. Again, it's a similar question. So we are separating, we are creating the salt, and in the process, we need to do filtration to separate solid from liquid. So D is wrong because the reactant and product, they are both solid, so they cannot be separated by filtration. They cannot be separated by filtration. Okay, let's do the next question. Number 22. So, which is not property of group 1 metals? They produce an acidic solution when they react with water. This is wrong because they produce a basic solution as opposed to acidic solution. So C is wrong. Okay, number 23, we have a test for those four substances. So a gas got given off when pops with a light spring, so we know it's H2. So P had if we look at those things here, it can't be carbon dioxide. And we know that magnesium reacts with acid to give you hydrogen. So A, B, C, we choose from A, B, C. And Q, gas gave off, which turns lime water milky, so we know it's carbon dioxide. This cannot give you carbon dioxide, so it's A or C. R, gas given off, which turns red litmus paper blue, so we know it's a basic gas, which is likely to be ammonia. So this cannot give you ammonium. Here, this can give you ammonium because ammonium ion react with base to give you ammonium gas. So A is the right answer. Okay, number 24, which statement is correct? A is obviously wrong because transition elements normally have a variety of oxidation state. For example, iron will have +2 or +3. So this is wrong. C, so they change from non-metal to non-metal. That's also wrong because transition elements are metal. D, transition elements, but they can act as catalysts, but their compounds cannot. That's wrong because both transition element and compounds can act as catalysts. That leaves you with B as the correct answer. Okay, number 25. The right answer is D. So yeah, so in this process, the steel is purified, and the carbon is purified out of the steel. So the steel out of the impure iron. So the steel produced will have less carbon than the starting impure iron. Okay, number 26. So this is the reactivity question. Reactivity. So it's a metal reactivity. So what you need to be familiar with is displacement reaction written here. So in a displacement reaction, A react with a compound of BC, and if A replaces B out and form a compound with C, then we say that A is more reactive than B. So if we look at the reactions here, okay, no reaction, so P is less reactive than Q here. There is reaction, so R is more reactive than Q. The same as that, same as this. S is more reactive than R, and here no reaction, so S is less reactive than Q. Okay, so if you put all those together, then and you rank them in reactivity, if you put all those together, then you will find out C gives you the right answer. Okay, so number 27. Yeah, so bauxite is a ore for the aluminium. It contains aluminium metal. And because aluminium is positively charged cation, so it is attracted to a negative electrode, which is cathode, because opposite charges attract each other. So bauxite and negative. The right answer is A. Number 28. Which reaction is correct? That would be C. So in this reaction, zinc oxide react with carbon, and carbon reduces zinc oxide to give you carbon dioxide and zinc. It cannot produce carbon dioxide, so B and D are wrong. A is not correctly balanced, so C is the right answer. Number 29. So yeah, so obviously nitrogen is present in the largest amounts. It takes around 78% of the total percentage of the total air. So that's obviously more than half. So it has to be the largest. So number 30, which is correct. So let's look at the first one. Vegetation decomposition produce a methane, but not a carbon dioxide. So this is wrong. Greenhouse gas. Yes, they are both greenhouse gas. Present in unpolluted air. Yes, carbon dioxide is present, which takes about 0.04% of the atmosphere. So C is wrong. Produced during respiration. So carbon dioxide is produced during respiration, but methane is not. So the correct answer for that is B. Okay, number 31. So we attach magnesium to steel, so we can block the corrosion. So in this case, we have iron and magnesium at the outside. So iron. So then we are coating iron with magnesium. So iron is not intact with water oxygen. So there is no reaction. There is no oxidation reaction of iron happening anymore. So A and B are wrong. So instead, magnesium is oxidized by oxygen and water present. So D is a reduction, right? D is a reduction. So D is wrong, and C is oxidation. So magnesium loses electron in the oxidation process. Okay, number 32, which statement is correct? So let's look at them one by one. Reaction is irreversible. That's wrong because there is a reversible sign. Question B. So yeah, it is reversible, but more ammonium is produced at high temperature because high temperature will favor high pressure will favor the equilibrium to the right, because on the right hand side it has fewer gas molecules than the left hand side. So a high pressure will favor the equilibrium to the right. D, catalyst is not used. That's wrong because catalyst is used to lower the activation energy of the process. So C is the only right answer. Okay, number 33. Let's look at number 33. So which reactants and catalyst is used for the sulfuric acid production in the contact process? Okay, so if you are familiar with the contact process, yes. So sulfur dioxide react with steam to give you, which is water, to give you this, and we need iron to be present as a catalyst to lower the activation energy. So the right choice is C. Okay, number 34. Limestone is, the formula for limestone is calcium carbonate. Yes, it has carbon. So as you can see from here, does limestone burn? No, it does not. It only decomposes. So limestone will decompose into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide upon heating, but it does not burn. Okay, number 35, which correctly describe petroleum. So it is wrong because it's not a compound. It's a mixture of different compounds. So a compound is something that only has one chemical formula, but the petroleum is a mixture of compounds. So that would be C and D. And it has some. It does not only have hydrogen and carbon, but meaning contains hydrocarbon, but also some other organic elements, organic molecules as well, but mainly hydrocarbons. So the right answer is C. Okay, number 36. In this process, we have a butene going to butene and hydrogen. Butane going to butene and hydrogen. So this is a cracking process where we have a larger organic molecule goes to it cracks into two different small molecules. So this is a cracking process. Okay, number 36. So the most important statement is 3. It reacts with carboxylic acid to form ester. We know that alcohol group can react with carboxylic acid to form ester. So we are just looking for the alcohol group here. So C is the only one which has alcohol group. So C is the right answer. Okay, number 38. What is the advantage and disadvantage using catalytic addition of steam to ethane to produce ethanol? So this process is very fast, but it needs energy input, right? So you need some energy to produce steam. So this is a non-renewable process comparing to the natural fermentation. So the right answer is B. Okay, number 9. So we have a polymer. So as you can see, this is a monomer unit. So polymerization process is alkene goes into a Alk. So now this is polyalkane. We need to go backwards to think about what is alkene monomer for this. So we've identified the monomer unit, and we just need to break the bond and convert it into a double bond alkene. So this would be your monomer. Okay, and which one of those gives you the correct formula? Is obviously C. The last one, again, we have a polymer, and we need to find the monomer. So there are actually two different monomers involved in this case. So first monomer, you can immediately say that this is a monomer, and the second monomer you can see is here, and another monomer. So we call it A and this one B. So this reaction, we have a ester linkage here. Ester linkage is produced from a, let me get rid of this. Okay, ester linkage is produced from a alcohol group and a carboxylic group. So for monomer A, we need something that has alcohol group at both ends. So it would be like this. This is monomer A, and for monomer B, again we need carboxylic groups at both ends. So this will be monomer B, and this react with that to produce a series of ester linkages. So which one is the right answer? That will be A.